It was 1 a.m. when I called her. The clock's red digits burned into my eyes like a warning. Something had been gnawing at me for weeks. Little things at first, whispers of doubt I tried to ignore. But tonight I couldn't. I needed to hear her voice to convince myself everything was okay. Instead, I got my best friend. "Hello?" his groggy voice answered. "Hey, wait, where's Sarah?" I asked, already sensing that tone I'd never forget, the one people use when they're about to break your world. There was a long pause. Then he said it. "Wasim, she's not alone." The words hit me like a punch. I dropped onto the couch, phone trembling in my hand. "What do you mean?" My voice was almost a whisper, even to myself. "I mean, she's with someone else," he said. Simple. Calm. Like he wasn't destroying my life one syllable at a time. I remember that night in fragments. The way the room spun, the way the air felt thick, as if it had been holding its breath, waiting for me to realize the truth. My mind raced. Missed calls, the way she laughed too much at texts, the nights she worked late, but came home smelling of someone else's cologne. I'd ignored all of it, told myself I was imagining things, that I was just being paranoid. But now my worst fears had a voice. I tried calling her again. Straight to voicemail. The ringing in my ears was deafening, like the sound of every lie accumulating over months. I drove to her place, my hands gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. When I arrived, the light in her bedroom was dim, music faintly humming. Voices, her voice and another man's, floated down the hallway. I froze. My legs refused to move. Part of me wanted to turn around, part of me needed to know. The next few days were a blur. I watched her, pretending to be normal, while my mind replayed every memory with suspicion. The dinners, the quiet talks, the late-night shows we'd watched together. Everything now felt like a performance I'd been too blind to notice. I found myself analyzing every text, every social media message, every moment of shared laughter for hidden meaning. And then the messages appeared. Hidden folders, deleted texts I recovered, small things at first. "Can't wait to see you. I miss you. When can we be alone?" They weren't meant for me, but I saw them anyway. The betrayal was real. Concrete. Inescapable. I confronted her the evening I could no longer bear it. She sat across from me at the kitchen table, eyes wide, hands trembling. "Why?" I asked, voice breaking. She didn't answer at first. Just looked down at her hands, twisting the ring I'd given her years ago. I felt lonely," she said finally. "We've grown apart, and I didn't know how to tell you." I wanted to scream, to throw the dishes, to shake her until she saw the depth of my heartbreak. But I couldn't. I sat there, numb, watching the person I loved turn into someone I didn't recognize. I thought about all the small betrayals I'd ignored, the times she complained I wasn't listening, and I'd nodded, thinking it was just stress. The evenings I spent at work instead of with her. The vacations she'd suggested that suddenly became business trips. Every moment was a thread in a tapestry of lies. We argued, yes, but not the kind that ends with yelling and slam doors. It was quiet, sharp, devastating. She explained herself, not to justify, but to be heard. I listened, and in listening I realized that the problem wasn't just her. It was both of us. We had let silence grow between us until it became a chasm. I moved out a week later. Not because I didn't love her, because I did, but because I loved myself enough to know I couldn't stay in a house where trust had been shattered. Nights were the hardest. The loneliness gnawed at me, and sometimes I'd replay the phone call at 1 a.m., my best friend's voice echoing through the dark, a sound I would never forget. Even after leaving, memories haunted me. The smell of her perfume in the living room, the way her laughter used to fill the kitchen, the small touches I once cherished. Now they were poisoned with betrayal, reminders that love, no matter how strong, isn't always enough. She reached out, apologizing, asking for forgiveness. I wanted to hate her, but hate wasn't enough to fill the emptiness. I wanted closure, answers, honesty. But I couldn't force her to give me what I needed. In the end, I realized the hardest part wasn't losing her. It was facing the truth about myself. That I had ignored signs, that I had taken her love for granted, and that self-respect sometimes demands leaving even when your heart doesn't want to. I didn't say goodbye dramatically. I didn't yell or slam doors. I packed my things quietly, carrying memories that now hurt more than they comforted. As I drove away, the city lights blurred, and for the first time in weeks, I let myself breathe. The lessons were clear, etched into me in a way nothing else could teach. Trust is fragile, love requires attention, and betrayal leaves scars not just on the heart, but on the soul. But with time I learned to listen not to others, not to her, but to myself. To hear my own needs, to honor my own worth. That night at 1 a.m., when my world first cracked open, I didn't know how I would survive. But I did. And slowly I began to understand that sometimes, survival isn't about holding on. It's about knowing when to walk away.